right, what is up? What is
What
up,
up?
fam? We are
Hey,
back. Well,
Steve. I know we just started and I'm screwing up. My son's the only one upstairs and some man is at the door. Give me a second. Terrible timing, man. I'm as bad as the
it's all
idiot in
right,
the
fam.
red zone.
That's how things work. But let's kind of kick things off here. Welcome back to another episode of Brotherly Love here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rochelle. Obviously, Luther will be back here in 1 second. We're gonna have some fun with this one this week, and what we're going to do right now, since Luther is dealing with some personal things on that end, I'm going to announce the last month's giveaway winner. So last month we ran a giveaway. Basically, all you had to do is follow, like, or subscribe. The grading authority on any platform of your desire. Shoot us a subscribe here on the Fantasy Sports Corporation. Like, comment, and or share any of the brotherly love videos. So we did choose one winner. Popped it up there, and it is Greg Wilson 2222. He's and he has chosen to grab the LeVar Johnson signed card. So I'm going to send that out to him, and I'm actually going to send him another little care package there as well, because me and Greg go way back. Luckily, he was able to be one of the comments there. Actually, he commented on, I think, just about every video we had. So over that month period, including the Pat Combs video, which I was going to select a Twitter winner from there, from one of our retweets, people sharing, commenting on Twitter there. Came across a few of the posts from the Fantasy Sports Corporation Twitter account, and anyone who had popped up on there. And we did have a winner, Tony Hamels, there. So I'm going to get in touch with Tony tonight, and see if we can get him the Pat Combs card. And Luther, you're
Bro, a
back.
freaking solicitor, man. Come on. It is 11:45 on Saturday, bro. I'm like, dude, you can't hustle me. He's trying to sell me like solar panels, right? Which is fine. They got to do a job. But he's telling me he's teaming up with our local power company. They got to get a picture of the meter, blah blah blah. I said, no. I said, bro, look, you don't need a picture of the meter if you're from the local power company. They have all our records. You need to get off my property. It's Saturday morning. I'm doing a freaking podcast, bro.
It's funny you say that. I had somebody weird at my house yesterday. It's so weird. It was like, we're from like, we need to see your bills. I'm like, we need to see my
Like,
bills.
what do you need to see my bill? What do you need to see anything for, bro?
And he was
Get
like,
out of here.
and then, like, I'm sitting there, and like I'm like starting to think, and then I just went in because I wanted to go out the backside of my deck to see if there was any city vehicles or anything on my street, because I live on a cul-de-sac. It would be real easy to see, right?
Right.
And see, and I was like, you know what? I must have thrown all that stuff out when I paid this month's bill. I'm not digging through the trash for that. I'm sorry. You have a good day.
Right. You gotta be kidding me. That was annoying. Like, and then it's like as soon as we start the show too. But whatever, man. What's up?
Everyone's trying to get in the hustle. It don't matter what time of day it is.
Listen, I appreciate.
What they try
hustle.
to get is find some old people. That's what they really try to find.
I appreciate hustle. I do. But come on. I already said no like 7 times. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door on you. And then my dog snuck out between my leg. I had to run out and grab Bryce. Come on.
Like he's the only one upstairs. Like, what's going on up there, brother?
Yeah, my son is like that. Some man is at the door, you know.
So I guess I want to kick things off with, you know, our boys survived it again.
Yeah,
A
we talked
couple
about it last week.
ugly turnovers in the red zone, man.
Yo, we always have a close game against Washington, right? But would it have been close if we hadn't fumbled the ball at the three yards in it? Listen, the first one on Gainwell.
NEG.
So my question on that is, we're at the 3 yard line. We tush push for 4 or 5 yards, right? Why
didn't we just two down it there? Why didn't we
but,
just
but
two
my,
down it
my
there?
question on that is, why are you pulling your starting running back to put the smaller run? Why is Gainwell
I made this argument last week, and you were like, "Well, he scored a
no
touchdown."
no
But
you're saying Gainwell is the problem with our running game. Let's not get it twisted. That wasn't the argument. The argument you're saying Gainwell is the problem with our run game. No, he isn't the problem with our run game. That's a whole different argument. Gainwell isn't the problem with our run game. He scored last week on the fifth drive of the game. We get down there, our first goal line drive. Why are we taking out our starter who hasn't gotten any carries, right? Secondly, what if we're going to sneak all over the field, why don't we sneak there? And speaking of that, Jalen, you had almost a flawless game, but you put the ball on the ground again. Yo, we won't be. Listen, we're going down the gauntlet right here of our season. We got to hold on to the ball. We turn the ball over tomorrow, we're losing. Wait, what's the day? Saturday? Yes. We turn the ball over tomorrow, we're losing.
I think that's rule number one on tomorrow afternoon's game is protect the ball.
And another thing, again, I don't. We actually threw the ball in the red zone and Julio caught a touchdown. But why are we passing all over the field, right? When we want runs, and we get to the red zone and we decide we're gonna be Nebraska of the 90s, and we're just gonna run the ball every play. On top of that, once again, you have a clearly limping quarterback. And you're running the guy. He's clearly limping. The only runs I want to see out of Jalen Hurts are quarterback scrambles when he has to, and maybe a quarterback sneak. You know, I don't even know if I want him in all that mess right now. His knee is clearly in pain.
Yeah.
Listen, man. We won again. We made Sam Howell look like Thomas Brady or Joseph Montana.
What did Kelsey say this week? Death by 1,000 slants? Dude,
and we're 75 yards off the line, off the receivers. Randy Moss is not. We're not playing against Moss and Chris Carter. We're not playing against T.O. and Jerry Rice. Why can't we put our hands on these receivers every now and then? It's so frustrating to watch us.
Do it, right?
It's so frustrating to watch us, man. I'm telling you, it's going to come back to bite us, bro. It's going to bite us, man. It's going to bite us. The trade deadline came and went, and we didn't get another cornerback.
Speaking of which,
and it's hard. It's like nobody's going to just give us a guy, right? But man.
And speaking of the trade deadline, what did you think of some of the big moves? We've seen Washington get blown up. We've seen Chase Young go to San Francisco. Obviously, when you look at some of the trade moves, obviously we brought in Byard this week. Commanders get rid of Chase Young. You had the Seahawks take the Giants Leonard Williams out of there.
Listen, man, it's funny because I think the Giants made out with that trade. They got a second and a fifth for a guy they weren't going to re-sign. Washington, people are all talking about how bad it looks for them to get more for Sweat than Chase Young. Uh, like, what are you doing? Are you going back to the draft because Chase Young got drafted higher? Montez Sweat has been better. Sweat has been better than Young.
That was the one I was literally about to mention. The Bears.
I don't understand what the Bears are doing. The Bears traded another high second round pick for a guy who's about to become a free agent, and they didn't re-sign him. They didn't sign him before the deal, which means he has all the leverage, or he walks, or you have to franchise him for a high second round pick. But I think they got the more productive guy. Will Chase Young benefit from a change of scenery? Maybe, but what has he done over his entire career?
I know, if you look at Montez and Chase's number, Montez is the clear productive guy.
Right. And the 49ers, for a third round pick, I'd go for Young as well, but the Niners,
because they still could rotate Young and Armstead over there too. People forget about that.
Yeah, but that doesn't, like, for me, if you're going to give up a third round pick for a guy who has the potential to be a stud, like, I don't care if you get to rotate him or whatever. I think that's a good deal for Washington. I'm sorry, for San Francisco, I thought Washington probably could have gotten more for him, but I think when you take away your own leverage, when you take away your own leverage, you put yourself in that situation, because they were clear that almost certain that they just didn't want to keep him. Our law kind of just
officially eliminated them, and then they were just like, you know what?
Well, here's what I'm saying. I think the Redskins painted themselves to a bit of a corner because they've already basically put it out there that they didn't want to keep the guy. So other teams are not going to say, man, I know you love him, but we'll offer you more for. They ended up getting what's essentially could be like a fourth round pick for him, because the San Francisco team is a good team. That third round pick is going to be later in the round. So I'm confused, but I'm also not, because Chase has not been available. How about that? He had a huge knee injury. He had a neck injury last year. His best is probably in front of him, maybe, but maybe he peaked. We'll see, because what happens there in San Francisco is he's not going to get a whole lot of double teams. They got Hargrave, they've got Bosa on the other side, and he's not going to get up. He's going to be singled up, bro. And so maybe we see him, get after it. Who knows? Washington is just, they need to go ahead and tear it down if they're going to tear it down. However, I love the fact that
they're let go as soon as the season's over.
Yeah, they've got new ownership. I love the fact that they're still in kind of in a mess, because they're in our division. Like, keep screwing up. Like don't get good picks for Chase Young. I just found it interesting, though, that the Niners didn't do anything in their back end. They have problems in that secondary, bro.
Yeah, and then you see Dobbs goes to Minnesota, but then Minnesota gets rid of one of their best linemen. Detroit grabs the kid Peoples.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples-Jones from Cleveland.
Does Detroit need another
Detroit grabbed Donovan Peoples-Jones from Cleveland.
I haven't paid attention to their wideout group, but do they need another wideout? Like, I wish I had paid more attention to their wideout, to their wide receiver room before the show, but.
So out of everything, all these guys who were disgruntled and said they wanted to leave, they wanted to get out. None of those guys really left. The only you kind of expected the Sweat and Chase Young to be moved at the trade deadline as soon
Probably yes.
as we knocked them out. It just kind of made it official. I'm surprised more guys from Washington to get moved, to be honest. But I knew those two were definitely going to go. And speaking of the craziness, you go over to Oakland now. Now Oakland is paying out somewhat of $80 million to two head coaches that are no longer coaching the team. But big shout out to Antonio Pierce, former Giants linebacker. There, he's the interim coach. Hopefully he can make that a permanent thing. I'd like to see him get an opportunity out there. That might be cool.
Yeah, I don't know what the Raiders are doing, man. It's listen, I was a Raider fan growing up. I switched loyalties the day I got drafted by the Eagles, but I was a Raiders fan my entire childhood, through high school and college. And it's just a mess, man. They've had what? I don't know, 5 winning seasons in the past 25, 30 years maybe. Something like that. It's just I don't I
It
don't
just seems like since the since the Tuck Rule game, everything is literally falling apart for the Raider organization.
yeah, it's just like even when they went out and signed Gruden to that 10-year deal, I was like, I mean, yeah, he won a Super Bowl in Tampa with Tony Dungy's team basically, and how much did he do after that? You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. I guess they like throwing away money. They're rich. Who knows? Uh,
And
it's
what are you thinking about AJ Brown, player of the month? First Eagles wide receiver to do that.
he dominated last month. He's been on such a streak, man. Like 6 games of over 125, which is a record. Uh, and the Eagles are what, 5-1 in those games. Uh, that's just there's not even much more to say about it other than just dominance. He's been dominant out there.
He's playing on
They
a
love to
special
see
level
it.
right now.
Yeah,
I hope he saves some for playoff Super Bowl. God willing.
yeah, yeah. He's been dominant, man. That guy is that catch he made last week was just ridiculous. He's on one right now. It's just insane.
So are we gonna call him Mega John though?
No, nah, man. I am not halfway using another receiver's nickname for AJ. I know it's a Philly thing with John, but nah, I'm not. But it might catch on.
I mean, and it's crazy right now for all the wide receivers right now. You got obviously Tyreek Hill's just slightly ahead of AJ a little bit. Uh, the kid down there and for playing for the Rams, Puka Natuka is having an amazing year so far. CeeDee Lamb's putting up numbers. Keenan Allen's always there. Is there anyone surprising you this year so far outside of Puka? Obviously,
Not really. The rules have been slanted more and more for years for offenses and receivers. You can't touch them off the ball. You can't touch them. I meant 5 yards down the field. You can't hit the quarterback. It's not surprising. It's not surprising that we are where we are in terms of receiving yards. So you got to take advantage of that in this league, man. And teams are doing it. Teams are
I
taking
mean the
advantage of the
numbers have
rules.
been going up and up for wide receivers, so it's kind of not
Yeah, I
surprising.
mean,
But like it's one of these things, man,
it's
where
not surprising to me. It's not at all. Like it's it's just not surprising at all. It's been going that way for years. It's going to continue to rise because the rules are slanted for offense, for wideouts and quarterbacks to be able to. What the toughest job out there right now is playing corner. You're going to get beat. You're going to get numerous ridiculous penalties, and you got to come back the next play and just deal with it because it's coming back at you over and over and over and over. And it's a passing league. It's not a running league, so you're going to have more guys getting the ball, and it's just the way it is. That's the way it is right now. That's the way the league is. That's what they want to go to. And you know how it is. They'll change the rules to make it how they want. Just like basketball, freedom of movement is what they call it. You know they're the lanes are wide open. You can't touch, shove, move. It's less physical than it used to be. So it's the rules that's helping, but it's also the guys. The guys are bigger, uh, and they've got all the training in the world, and we're passing the heck out of the ball, man. Everyone's passing the ball. Tyreek Hill is something different, though. Good grief! It's his speed is so clear. It's like having your grandma's old TV in the living room in 1980 versus having a newest 8K TV. It's a striking difference when you see that guy running on the field. It's like, who is this guy? Why is he playing with these kids?
You think this is the year we see a wide receiver finally win the MVP?
No.
It's going to be a quarterback?
They should not even call it the MVP. They should call it
they should call about the most quarterback award eater.
They should call it the MVQ because they just give it to the best quarterback. That's just what it is. That's what it is, man. Because Aaron Donald could have won it a couple years ago. Like, they just give it to the best quarterback, and you look at the numbers, and I'm like, the numbers are slanted for the quarterbacks. Like I'm not hating. That's just.
Oh no, I'm not hating either. Like, I'm just sitting there saying I think it needs to that part of it needs to change. Like, yes, obviously the wide receivers are going to be there with the quarterback, but there's sometimes wide receivers have special years, and it's like the fact that, like, you know, Megatron never won one. The fact that because he
never
clearly
came close. They don't even. That's the thing. They don't even come close. It's always like 3 quarterbacks and then the guy who was actually the best player this year.
There was years that Moss should have won one. Jerry Rice should have won one. We can go even further back, you know, Steve Large and all these guys.
Yeah.
Like, we can go back. There's years that those guys should have won one. And you made a great point with defensive players too, right? Like, we're not just talking about wide receivers. It definitely, I think you should scale back. Like, there should be something where, like, you should only have like one quarterback in the running, and you know, the rest from other positions.
I think I agree with you. The same thing I said about the salary cap.
Here we go,
need to have their own cap.
Listen, all you have to do is look at the at when you tag a guy, and you know, you tag a quarterback now, it's like $44 million. Then, like, the next biggest player on offense is what? Like, it's typically the left tackle, right? Go look at left tackle, it's like $14.5 million. How could it be that big of a? And then you look at some of the other.
It's crazy.
Running backs is even worse anymore. I mean, I really do feel bad for running backs because that's ridiculous anymore. They're almost like, it's almost like the league itself is just trying to sit there.
They're just man, that's collusion, man. I don't care what they say. You and guys are like, you know, you can't pay a running back, and it's like, it sucks now that everybody thinks every running back is so replaceable. Running backs are replaceable, yes. Every running back isn't the same. They're not all so replaceable. You know what I'm saying? It's
just like there's special guys there that do deserve to probably be put into a different category than some of those guys. Like, every running back can be replaceable, but every running back has something that makes them special too.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, let's sitting there saying, like, oh, well, Walter Payton was replaceable. Yeah, he was replaceable, but he had aspects about him that made him absolutely unreplaceable.
Absolutely unreplaceable, right.
You can say the same thing about Barry Sanders. Detroit Lions went into the absolute garbage can for quite a period of time. when he decided to walk away. Not to sit there and say that he didn't have other good guys around him, because they did. They had Herman Moore. They had all kinds of guys around him. You know, Chris Spielman was one of the better linebackers they had there for a while. Like, there was guys that were on that team, but when he disappeared, oh, guess what? they went to the absolute gutter. Was Barry Sanders not special? No, he was special. But it's just sitting there saying it's ridiculous the way they get treated in this way now. It's just like, you know,
Yeah,
we
it's
have to see some
interesting.
things change on that level. I totally agree with you on that part of
Right.
it. I'll always be pro
And
athlete
what
on that part.
and what can you do? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you could do.
I agree. I think that some of these running backs should start playing the game that you know, playing the system the way it needs to be played for them to protect themselves too. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't,
it's
and I
yeah.
wouldn't blame them, especially if you know you've already put in your blood, sweat, and tears for that team, and they're like, you know what, we'll wait till the off season when your contract expires. We'll talk then.
That's the
Yeah,
thing. They'll franchise him or fool around
yeah,
with
like
these
what
guys'
what we
money.
just seen with Saquon and things of that nature.
Yeah, you
You
see,
know, unfortunate
they gotta pay
with Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook wound up getting out of Minnesota, wound up going to New York, and he's behind that kid Bryce Hall now, right?
Brees Hall,
Brees Hall, that's right.
Brees Hall, Brees Hall. Yeah, but I mean, he was gonna be their backup anyways. But it's so funny. At least he got paid. You know what I'm saying? At least he got his big deal. I'm happy that he got his original big deal with Minnesota. But it's just it's weird. It's weird seeing that you have to pay your average quarterback $40 million, but your really good running back, you're scoffing at giving him 10. And I get it. I get how the cap is and all that. Wow. That's a $30 million difference between Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, and that just doesn't sit right, man. Gosh, that just doesn't sit right.
All right. Well, let's start moving into what we're really here for this week. We're here for rivalry week. We're here for a little Eagles Cowboys 425 this week. How excited are you for this matchup? Obviously, we're
I'm always
just right
excited
at where
for.
we thought we would be right
Always
here.
excited, yeah. Always excited for Philadelphia versus Dallas Cowboys. Oh, even in down years, this is always an exciting game. Uh, because of their fans. Their fans are absolutely weird, thinking that they're going to win the championship every single year. That's really funny to me. Uh, it's funny how every year they could beat the high school down the street in the preseason, and they'll say this is our year. Look at how we looked. So it's always fun because they talk so much. Do we talk a lot?
Is this the
Philly
best
fans.
rivalry in sports?
Mm,
They
it's right. I don't
NFL
know.
and Fox Days, and if they're the best
It's.
rivalry in the NFL, I say, is
I
this the
say
best rivalry in
yes.
sports?
I say yes in the NFL. I don't know if they're the best rivalry in sports because I live in.
Well, no, if you look
I
at the other sports, like the big rivalries have all but disappeared.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is the best rivalry in sports because I live in near Charlotte. I live in the Carolinas. Duke, North Carolina basketball to me is the best rivalry in sports. Michigan, Ohio State football is a crazy great rivalry. You got Lakers Celtics, but you know that's different because they got to both be in the championship game in order to really compete for the championship, and they only play each other twice a year because Eastern Conference, Western Conference. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys are way up there as one of the best rivalries in sports, but I'm biased because I live here. Duke, North Carolina basketball is insane. Uh,
North Carolina and Duke is pretty nasty.
Duke, North Carolina basketball is insane. But Philly, man, Philly, Dallas is, yo, that's nuts, man. I mean, you're asking me, and I'm off the top of my head, and I swear, for me, Philly, Dallas, Duke, North Carolina, that Michigan Ohio State rivalry is sick. I am missing something. Oh, Red Sox, Yankees, and it thinks with them like now because
Like I said, that one's dead.
they're both
Lakers, Celtics. I mean, it's always been there, but it's lost a lot of its luster over the past like 20 years or so.
Yeah, Boston and New York, they're both non-playoff teams this year. So, that, but that they never gets tired. Of course, this is on a lower level. Phillies and the Braves, they hate each other, but that's not on that level. And that's kind of recency rivalry, which is good. You love that. You love having the Eagles, I'm sorry, the Phillies and the Braves both be good. You love having, that back and forth, especially me playing in Philly and being a Braves fan, and I've got a ton of friends in Philadelphia. That's personal. Personally, that's a great rivalry. Living again, being from South Carolina, Clemson football. It's not as big as nationally, but it's nasty, bro. It's nasty out here. That's a massive rivalry. But back to your original question, man. I really think Philly and Dallas amongst the top. Clearly amongst the top. And I know there's something I'm forgetting. And I'm thinking right now, I know there's something I'm forgetting. But yeah, man, this rivalry is sick, and I love it.
It's a special rivalry. Like I've always like when I was younger, I always felt like it was just something. Just we just could not stand the cockroaches that are the Cowboys fans. And in reality, our real rival is the New York Giants.
Giants, right? Because of proximity. Yeah,
but
it's Dallas, man.
It's just it became a special rivalry because of the polar opposites that it is each fan bases. I think Jason Kelsey said something this week. It's like, Philly fans are special in this one way, and then you look at Dallas fans, they're like the yuppie groupies that follow the Lakers and the Yankees.
Oh, I can't stand that group.
They're like them type of fans.
I can't stand that group. I can't stand all the people who wear Yankees hats, and then now, and they're also the Laker fans. And it's like, what are you now? Like, who are you next? Like, are you freaking Alabama football now? Like, what are you?
And the sad part is not all the Cowboys fans. There is a good portion of fans that are actually from there that are really passionate fans.
Listen,
and they get lumped into these idiots, and I feel bad for that.
I've got a ton of Cowboy fans from Texas. One of my friends, my homegirl from here, we actually flew in. Like, she's one of my really good friends. We flew in for the Eagles Cowboys games, and because the rivalry is sick, she knew like I could get locked in on some good tickets, and we went up there for the game. And it works that way. And a lot of the fans came in the 90s, right? The people who were young in the high school, middle school in the 90s when the Cowboys were winning, they're on that bandwagon. And we're going to see that years from now, all those Patriot fans, right? The Patriots were really good. We're going to see all these adult Patriot fans in 20 years who were always fans, right? No, you're a fan. I'm never going to not be a Philly fan. We finally won our championship, right? We finally won our Super Bowl. I'll put it like that because we won championships. I was never going to jump off the Eagles bandwagon because we didn't win. You know what I'm saying? I was going to ride it out. I wasn't going to be a Patriot fan. It's like, oh, it's time to pick a new team. That's never going to happen. I was a Clemson football fan. We didn't win a championship since 1981. Bro, I wasn't going to be a Bama fan. I wasn't going to switch to Alabama because they were winning. For me, that's like impossible. I can't do that. People are like, bro, you played in Philly. You could root for the Phillies as well. And I'm like, that's just stupid. That's like asking the Phillies fans to root for the Braves in the World Series. That doesn't make sense because of like I'm not gonna even if the Braves suck, I'm gonna go to freaking Atlanta and watch them suck. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I am a Charlotte Hornet season ticket holder. I wear Charlotte Hornet gear. Look and tell me when they've last won something. I'm the guy that's gonna stick with my squad, man. The bandwagoners drive me nuts, man. And you can tell how my passion is about the bandwagoners. They drive me nuts, man. I'm riding with my team, and I'm gonna lose a few years of my life dealing with my sucky teams. I'm gonna get more gray hairs. I'm gonna yell at the Eagles. The Eagles could be 7-1. I'm gonna still be pissed off at the red zone and what I think they're screwing up because I'm a fan. I'm a fan just like everyone else. Did I play professional football? Sure. Do I know more than anybody else about the current team as a fan? No, I'm just a fan. Do I have some insights into the locker room and stuff like that? Sure. I'm a fan just like everybody else, and I can't stand the bandwagoners just like everyone else who are diehard with their team. I'm rocking my Eagles. I mean, if you can see in the background, I have my Eagles up here. And on the other side, you might be able to see there's a Panther one. Oh, you can't see it's behind that. Probably my big old head in the way. Back there, you can see the Panthers were in the court. Bro, I got drafted by the Eagles, signed with the Panthers, traded back to the Eagles, and the Panthers. There it is back there. And the Panthers reacquired me. Those are my two teams. You can't call me a bandwagon because until 5 years ago, 6 years ago, neither of those teams had a Super Bowl win. So I'm riding with my teams. And I'll tell you right now, I know I live here, but the Eagles are my 1A team. The Eagles are always going to be 1A. Can you have two teams? Yeah, when you freaking played for two, I guess that's my excuse. But Eagles are my 1A, bro, and I'm a ride with my boys. The Cowboys fans, they make it fun. They make it fun. They travel. They talk a lot, which is pretty awesome. Because we're gonna talk and we're gonna back our shit up, right? And I'm cool with that, man. I like the rivalry. I can take the heat. I can pay the bets. You know what I'm saying? I can buy my little stupid cowboy hat if I lose a bet and wear it that one day and shit in it the next. You know, that's fine. But the bandwagon is driving me crazy. But to answer your question,
they do to me as well.
I do think that's the best rivalry in football. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't even know who else comes close.
All right, before we get to touch into week 9, let's get a quick word in from our sponsor, and let's get into some for football.
Just Blazed Clothing Company. We are the premier clothing and lifestyle brand for the cannabis enthusiast. Premier clothing, cannabis accessories, with a South Beach flair. Go online today and check out all our great products at justblazedclothingcompany.com. Use the promo code FIGHT at checkout and get 10% off your purchase.
10% off. Use that code FIGHT at Just Blaze Clothing. And week 9 is going to have some fun matchups. Obviously, the boys and the Eagles are going to duke it out at 4 o'clock.
Dude, we got a good game early at 9
Miami
and
the Chiefs should be fun.
Mm-hmm. That's a reminder. That's an early game, bro. I just was reminded of that. I heard a commercial and they were like, "Yeah, 9:30 a.m." And I'm like, 9:30? What? Where am I? Because I went to Vegas last weekend and I was like, "Oh wait, they're playing in Germany, right?" So that's
in Germany, brother.
Miami and Kansas City. That's the morning game.
I believe so.
So we're gonna have a lot of good football all day tomorrow. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be the early game. Obviously, the the Steelers had already won the Thursday night matchup.
The Seahawks and the Ravens, man, that's gonna be good.
That's a big test right there.
That's a big test right there. You got Bills and Bengals, bro. That's gonna be a good one. You got Jags and Niners, man. Good week this week of football, man. Even some of the games that we don't think is important looks like some good games, man. When you look at the and I know I might be biased because I live here, but it's two teams on the low end of things right now, the Colts and Panthers. That for me, that's going to be a competitive game. So we'll see.
And then obviously we got to get into it because we haven't really seen it over the last 2 years because they've both been injured and the way records worked out. But we get to see the Jalen Dak matchup. That obviously since the start of last season, Jalen's winning numbers have been a little bit better. You can argue the stats and everything like that, but obviously that's going to be what we're going to look at. How Dak looks against this Eagles D, which apparently from what I was seeing was there was a thing where CeeDee Lamb and the coaches are all laughing at the Eagles defense, and somehow that they're making fun of the film and stuff like that. So they're going to be looks like they're going to be
listen.
Seeing a pass heavy thing, or at least that's what they want to make it look like.
Let's talk about this. How the hell does that get out? Is anything sacred anymore? How does a Cowboy wide receiver meeting discussion get out to the media? I would be laughing at our secondary as well. Sam Howell lit us up last week. My point to that is fine. It's great when you have some good locker room bulletin board material, right? That's good, right? How does that get out? Explain to me, how does that get out?
Unless it was meant to get out.
Unless it was meant to get out, and then why would that be meant to get out? Why would that happen? I discussed this before when we were talking about the whole Bryce Harper Arcia thing. Why does locker room talk get out? Why does that have to get out? There's nothing sacred anymore. Nothing sick. Even you watch a team like you watch, and I say I don't want to bring this up a lot because we beat that horse so many times. Everything Colorado does in their locker room, every speech, even the conversations Dion had with his cornerback Hunter when he got hurt about him not wanting to come back. Why is that conversation posted? Why is that the audio of that conversation for public consumption? If you love him and you don't want him on the field until he's 100% healthy, listen, why is that recorded?
In any case, Luther, that wouldn't be the thing I'd be worried about. I mean, I'd be more worried the fact Dak has been an Eagle killer. He's been an absolute Eagle killer in his last 8 wins against us. And I believe that's sandwiched in between like 2 losses or 3 losses or something like that. He has us.
Yeah, he's been really good against us. He's beat us a lot, and let's be real. If we don't do something with the secondary tomorrow, if we're not playing better, the Cowboys are gonna walk out of that stadium with a win. So we need to get our shit together in the back end.
Let's pull up the recent history. I mean, look at it. They have owned us. They have owned us in the recent history, regardless of Super Bowl wins, division wins. However you look at that, they have had our number in years past. So I mean, I guess I would say, like, like, what are your concerns for this game?
You know
And
what my concerns are. It's gonna be my concern week in and week out. The back end has not played well. Are we going to make some adjustments? Are we going to put our hands on the quarterback? I mean, on the wideouts. And the second thing, are we going to be able to run the ball? Are we going to sit back there against probably the best pass rush in the league, and just sit back there and run 5-step drops and try to throw the ball, man? What are we going to do?
You can't let Lawrence get off this week. You cannot.
You cannot let him get off.
With that being said, I mean, Lane and Jordan Mailata have been playing, pretty excellent this season. Obviously, our main concern has been that right guard position. Are we going to have our third different guard there playing this week?
Yeah, man.
Because I don't know, did Cam Jurgens get cleared? I know they cleared him for the window, but did they clear him for the game?
They cleared him for the window, but they're not going to put that out until my son's texting me.
We ain't going to know until right before game time. This is going to air.
That's when we'll find out right before game time. Yep. So, man. We'll see.
Does the trend of Lane Johnson owning Micah Parsons continues to play, or do you think they're going to roll him over to Mailata size and roll the dice there?
I would move things. I would change things up. You can't give a future Hall of Fame.
If I'm Dallas, I rotate. I flip flop both of them all throughout the game.
If I'm Dallas, I run some games, man. I run a few games, but then I see, I see what you could do early on, and I also put pressure in the middle of that line and see what those guards going to do. Like, but if I'm Philadelphia, I am running at Micah Parsons. Let his pass rush and his speed kind of take him out of some of the plays. See if that makes him slow down a little bit. But I've got to run at him a little bit early on. So,
what I would say, what I'm scared of is the same thing that you're saying there. Listen, that back end has not played the way they have, and as I already showed you, Dak has beaten us thoroughly more than the last handful of times that we have played them. I do think overall, when you look at it, we may be the better team on paper, but it's a division game. They always get up for it for us. Dak always gets up for us. Micah Parsons has clearly stated that he believes that we're the best team in the league right now. So that they got this thing circled. My question is,
we better have it circled. We've got the best record in the league, and we're on top of the division.
They got it circled now. Shit. I mean, if listen, regardless of how bad we're playing or whatever, but I think this is more of a must-win game for Dallas than it is for us. We win this game, we go 2.5 games up on them. That's a bad position to be in if you're the Dallas Cowboys. You absolutely must win this game. We get the bye week next week, and then after what, if you're a Dallas fan, hopes is a loss to Kansas City before we come back to you again. Is that your hope that you beat us, and then we hit the bye, we get another loss or two on it before you see us again and try to make a run to win the division?
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we do. It might be ugly. It might be not what we want. But I think we do pull it off at home this week. I think Jalen Hurts has another good game, whether it be clean or not. I don't know. I pray that everyone on the offensive side of the ball has a clean game. Ball carriers, quarterback, etc. What I want to see is more turnovers from the defense. That's what
we
makes
gotta
this
win the
team roll.
turnover battle. We are losing the turnover battle like crazy, and that we've got to stop putting the ball in harm's way. But man, we got to take the ball from someone. We haven't been able to take the ball from the other team consistently.
Outside of
this year.
what was it? I think scattered turnovers over the last few games between Reed Blankenship's interception, which he's
That
not
was
Blankenship
huge.
anymore. He's officially Rocket Ship. I'm not calling him Blanket anymore. That kid is
that was a huge interception. But
that was
boy,
huge. And
what's
Darius
crazy,
Slay's
if you watch
interception against
that
Miami
play,
2 weeks ago was
right.
just
if you
as
watch
important.
That play, Blankenship's interception, bro. 24 had a penalty on that play. Bradbury was all over the receiver's back on that play. I paused after the interception because I was looking for a flag.
You're like, please don't give me the flag, right?
I was looking for a flag on the field, bro. Oh man, like I was like, finally, we made a play. But yeah, if we could play clean football, we win this weekend. That sounds pretty simple.
You win the turnover battle, continue to win the time of possession battle. I think the trend continues. Jalen Hurts continues his winning ways in the regular season against what you call the better teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think another loss is coming at some point in time over the next 3 weeks. After you look into this game, this isn't going to be an easy one. It's probably going to be 24, 21, 28, 24, something to that effect. It's again, just like it is in every NFL. It's the race to 30 points. Typically, that is the moniker that almost guarantees you the win.
Yeah,
in today's NFL, I like their chances at home. I think I always felt that when I looked at the schedule, it would be a split, that we would win the first matchup here in Philadelphia, lose the second matchup down there in Dallas. That's just how I felt going into the season. Do you feel that way too? Like, I know this is close. I don't think it's going to be pretty, man. I think it's going to be more of a defensive game than we think.
Right. I think it's going to be a defensive battle tomorrow. I think if we could get some stops early on to get some confidence for our back end, we could see if we can run this thing up a little bit early and get some points on the board and run the ball a little bit. But we got to control the clock.
Listen, running the ball, you have to get back to it. It's been non-existent the past 3 to 4 weeks. The past month, it's been abysmal. You have to get back to that. That is the key. The balance. Jalen can't be close to 35, 40 throws this game. Cannot. He's got to be. He can be on the edge of 30. That the ball has to be run, not in Jalen hands. Get DeAndre Swift going again. Get Agent Zero going. If Kenny Gainwell, is more worried about responding to Instagram messages during games, let's get Bad Brad Penny off the inactive list and have him in them short yardage situations. I would feel better.
What are you doing? What are you doing checking your social media at halftime? What are you doing?
I mean, I know it's unheard for you, but that's just beyond, like, regardless if someone was in your DMs or not. You don't even respond to that during the game.
What are you doing checking your social media at halftime? What are you doing checking your social media at halftime? I'll say that 1,000 times, bro. What? I thought it was Photoshop. Because you know how it is. We joke around or whatnot. Know, right? And I was like, wait.
No, that's really real.
I don't know, man. And I'm not even some old man hit you with the I'm old school. Come on, man. Do you feel that? Especially,
that might have
especially
sealed
after
his
fumbling,
fate, at the end of the season.
after fumbling the ball in the first half. You should be miserable about that. You should feel, and I'm sure he felt bad about. But you respond to some rando on social media? Is that what you do, bro? We're different. Those
Even
dudes
if
are
you
different,
look at
man.
it, it's one thing. Even if you look at it for
responding,
fire yourself up, right?
responding. You
Responding is
responded,
a
bro.
whole nother. It's a horse of another color, my friend. I could get looking at it saying I'm gonna prove you wrong. Shut your mouth. I get that part of it, but responding to it.
What responding to it is the worst. Why are you looking at it? What are you?
It's
What
bad
are
enough you
doing?
want it, but come on, man.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro? But hey.
So we're in agreement. Philly ekes this one out. Continues the winning ways.
Huh? What you say?
Said you're in agreement. Sunday we eke this one out and continue our winning ways of the bye week.
I'll take us at home, bro. I'm taking us at home. I think Dallas is a good football team. You know, Dallas, of course, they're going to get a lot of shit because they talk so much. Their fans talk so much. But I think Dallas is a good team, bro. I think we win a close game at home, and that's all that matters. Do I want to blow up? Yes, I want a 56-3 win.
Don't we all,
right?
brother?
But will I take a 7-3
right?
win? Right. Do I want a 56-3 win? Yes. I will take a 7-3 win. It might raise my heart rate, but I'll take a 7-3 win, bro.
And speaking of raising heart rates, one last one before I wrap this one up for you. The James Harden era in Philadelphia is over. So he has now been through 4 different teams through 4 different years.
Bro,
has he officially rewritten the mold on what they call the cancer player?
Dude, how do you force yourself out of all these teams so in consecutive years? Like, what is this? Like, why? I wouldn't give up a thing for him. I wouldn't give up. I would not trade.
Listen, I think the Sixers made out in a sense because not only do they get the picks, but they have the cap flexibility now to go after somebody and go.
If they could have gotten anything for a guy who doesn't want to be there, who is on a 1-year deal, it's a win. They got more than anything. They got some role players, and like you said, cap flexibility
and
picks and pick swaps. You know how the NBA is. Like the picks, whatever.
But the fact that you basically got
that
2 firsts for him is a win.
You got him out. Yeah. Again, NBA, bro. 2 firsts. They're gonna be late, probably. They were able to get rid of him. One. They were able to get anything for him. And the biggest thing is what you just said. The cap flexibility is huge.
If you look at it,
good, but
Daryl Morey could basically rebuild that team next year because there's only 3 guys under contract.
You're right.
So not only does he have cap flexibility, that if they don't perform this year, Nick Nurse still has Maxey. He'll still have Embiid. I think one of the guys I forget who the third guy is under contract. But the fact that you could basically clean the whole team up, have flexibility, and be able to max contract one of the positions, you couldn't ask for a better scenario.
They better go ahead and pay Maxey.
Maxey?
Have to pay him. Yeah, they're gonna have to pay him soon.
Obviously you're gonna have to pay him, but I hear a lot of these rumors that the Knicks are putting a package together to snatch Joel out of Philadelphia. In what mind do they think the Sixers would ever entertain that?
I don't know if they have enough. What are they going to give Philadelphia?
They're talking about the young kids and draft capital.
But why would Philadelphia
why would you not just trade him, but trade him in your conference inside of your division?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who do they have? Who do they have? No, seriously.
I mean, they get a good young team. I'm not going to say, but it's not like anything that would move the Sixers to make it happen.
Why would the Sixers want like R.J. Barrett and Randall and like why would those guys don't move the needle for me?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if they're going to trade Joel Embiid, they're going to get
last one. Clippers make a run because of the team they have now.
No,
or the Harden thing brings it all crumbling down.
No, the answer is no. The answer is no. Are they even better right now?
No, I think they're going to.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Dysfunction's going to start immediately. You know it.
Whatever. If Kawhi, how many games is he going to play? Paul George, is he going to do anything in the playoffs ever again? Russell Westbrook, what are they going to do with him and James? They've never been able to put it together.
Everyone's going to win because they're going to be fighting over the ball.
Yeah, man, bro.
You got one ball. You got all them guys there.
Harden said.
You heard James Harden. He's not a system player. He is the system.
Yeah, a system of dysfunction. I don't want to hear about that guy again until he does something in the playoffs.
Good luck, Clippers. Appreciate that. Not my mess anymore. I mean, we're still a mess, but don't get me wrong. We're a mess that could be getting right within 16 months.
Right.
Oh man. Gonna put a bow on this one. Luther, any final thoughts? Week 9.
Go Birds, baby. That's my final thought. Is go Birds. That's it. Yeah. That's all I got for you.
I'm just gonna say, F the Cowboys. It's officially rivalry week. Anyone not wearing Kelly green or these Eagles colors can go F off. It's time. It's the biggest game of the season so far. Obviously, the next game is always the biggest game of the season, but this is always a special one. I hope everyone enjoys this one. Be safe and all that. Don't do anything stupid. Don't beat up any knuckleheaded Cowboys fans running their mouth. Have fun, and we will see you guys next week on another episode of Brotherly Love. I'm Steve. That's Luther. Catch you guys next week.